Welcome back, everyone. Carolina Keith here with you again. Let's talk about exponential moving averages, what they do, how to use them, and everything in between. All right, cool. So, exponential moving averages are a little bit different than the simple moving averages you just saw. An exponential moving average, or EMA, instead of being just based on the closings like we saw with the simple moving average, an EMA takes a little bit of weight and moves it to the opening and gives it a little bit smoother of a movement. Now, it's not the end of the world difference, but overall, it does change some things. It's one of my favorite indicators. Let's talk about it. All right, cool. I've got Ethereum pulled up here. I'm on a weekly time frame. See it right there on the top of our indicator list, or our top of our time frame list up here. I'll go to indicators like we did in our last video, and I'll type in EMA. Now, one of the first one that pops up here is this 8-13-21. You're going to find many on here. You can use the ones you want. I'm going to use this one for the example, but nonetheless, I'm going to show you the settings, all right? So I click on that, and I click our little settings gear like we always do. Now, we're not going to use this middle one. You have 3 right here. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use 2 of them. I'll go to my style, and I don't want to use orange. The stock colors here should be green for the top one and purple one for the bottom one, all right? I don't want my line to be max thickness. That's too much. I'll scale that down some, and I'll scale down the purple line here to a little bit thinner line, a little bit smoother. So that's the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA. And here they are on our chart. Our green line, I'll hide the candles here so you can see them a little better. And that way it's a little easier for you to kind of see what's going on here. Here's our moving averages. 8 EMA is the green line. 21 EMA is the purple line. Now, this is a very, very simple strategy and a very simple way we use them, all right? Bear with me here for a second. It's going to seem a little confusing at first, but it's not really. All right, there are 2 sets of rules here. Pretty cool. But first, we'll start with rule number 2. It's very simple, but when the green line is above the purple line, as you see right there, and as you see right here, the green line crosses over the purple line. That's very good. In fact, that's one of 2 markers that we look for this particular strategy. Now, I'm on a weekly chart, so this takes a while to play out. It's not like the daily. I'm doing this on the daily time frame typically, but I wanted you to see the weekly because it's nice and smooth. So, rule number 2 that I haven't even talked about, rule number 1 yet, is 8 EMA over the 21 EMA, or green over top of purple, is one of our 2 rules for this indicator. I've zoomed in a bit here. Here's rule number 1 of this indicator. I want 2 consecutive closes in a row over the green line, which is the 8 EMA. And right here's that green line that you see. See that? Here's the first candle closing. This is why closings are important. And I talked about closings and wicks, right? The candle bodies and the wicks. I want 2 candles consecutively over that green line. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. That's the first rule of this indicator. Quite simple, yeah? So you could do it a couple different ways. You can go all in right here and buy this second candle, or you can wait for the crossing to happen, and you can buy half on this second candle and half when you get a crossing. Very simple strategy, very simple use here. Now, it moves fast, so I need you to understand it may not be great for you if you don't have a ton of time to look, but I really only look for this once or twice a day, at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, all right? So, again, let's go through all this, and let's look at it right now, more recently as it's happened on a daily time frame. So let's flip the daily. What do we have happening right here on Ethereum now? You have 1 candle closed over the 8 EMA, 2 candles closed over the 8 EMA. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it right there. Let me zoom in here for you. All right, so 2 candles, right here you go. Bam, there's our second candle. This is where I would go ahead and enter. I would look for this cross, which happens shortly after, as confluence for me. That's how I would play this strategy. Now, you could do the 50-50 strategy like I talked about before. Fairly simple, not that difficult to come up with, and we're in. Now, what do we do to get back out? Well, we wait for this same thing to happen in the other direction, all right? Here you go. You got a downward cross where the 8 cut through the 21 EMA. And here's where, you kind of see that it doesn't always work exactly like you want. Here was our second candle closed. See that? Not great, huh? This is why it's important to use this indicator as confluence and not only use this indicator. Are we above the trend? Are we below the trend? Are we above the 50-day moving average? Are we below the 50-day moving average? What is good for you? How much risk reward do you want to take here? That's important to understand and important to know before you start doing it. This is why I tell everyone, hey, come up with your plan beforehand before you ever start doing this. This way you know what you want to do. You can use this indicator to take 25% out and then add 25%, right? Whatever you want. And here's another example of it not working out like I wanted it to, right? When we shot up here and did this second candle over, I would have really liked for me to get that cross where the 8 crosses the 21. It didn't happen, did it? And it went right back under here. Okay, there you go, playing mind games with me while I was doing it. It's part of the game. You come out of this the same way you go in it. Like I said, 2 candles closed under is what you need to go, okay, that's good enough. I'm walking away. Use this strategy in conjunction with it, right? Please know that it's not perfect. It moves fast. It's more of a Forex strategy. I learned this when I started doing Forex way back in the day, all right? And it works pretty well for that on a lower time frame. It's not perfect. Again, you need to kind of tweak it for you and see what you think about it and what you like and go from there. I often show people the weekly chart because I think it's easy for most people to do. You're going to lose a little bit off the top and off the bottom because it moves a little laggy. Like I said, all indicators lag a bit, but man, you just can't beat the weekly chart for simplicity. 1 candle, 2 candles. You bought in here at 1,500. The price is now 2,400. You are up every bit of 62% with a simple strategy. This is why I like it, and this is why I hope you like it. That wasn't that difficult at all, was it? Now that you're starting to grasp some of the concepts, you see how simple it can be to take a little bit of a strategy, add it in, it makes your risk reward all that much better. You can use this particular indicator in with confluence, get 4 points of interest instead of 3 points of interest, whatever is good for your risk reward. All right. It's very important for you to understand that your risk reward is different than mine. I want you to know that ahead of time. Make your own. See what's good for you and what doesn't work for you. Thank you for watching. We'll go over something a little different in the next video. See you then. Peace.